Society is rapidly going to hell. Society is rapidly going to hell. So evidently, Mr. Beast knew everything that was going on with Ava Chris Tyson and all of that sick crap. That name needs to be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch. Watch it in this video to fully understand why Mr. Beast knew exactly what was going on with Chris Tyson, why Mr. Beast needs to be registered and placed on Neighborhood Watch, and how this is going to impact all of us going forward. Today's video comes from Decordering, Jeremy's channel will be linked in the description. Now let's just go ahead and jump into the video. Mr. Beast has allegedly hired the same lawyer as Harvey Weinstein. Now, let me make this very, very clear. When it comes to old Harvey, you know, I think that honestly, I'm much more worried about Mr. Beast than Harvey. Okay. And I think a lot of people feel the same consensus on that. Mr. Beast, this stuff, he's basically selling chocolate bars to kids and portraying himself as the modern day Willy Wonka, and realistically, we see what Ava Chris Tyson was doing. People don't seem to comprehend that Chris Tyson owns a portion of the Mr. Beast company. He owns a portion. So until Jimmy says, yeah, Ava Chris Tyson has, he's been bought out. Yeah, I don't believe that one bit. And the tweets that Mr. Beast, that the apology tweet written by Ava Chris Tyson saying that he didn't know anything, he was not involved in any of this. That was written evidently by Jimmy's team. Okay, this is a Mr. Beast employee. This is a owner in the Mr. Beast company. And a lot of that had to do with Amazon, who was aware of what was going on. So that's another thing. Amazon is well aware of what Chris Tyson was doing, and everyone was just kind of basically trying to play PR cover up. Like, this is really sick stuff. Really, really sick stuff.
What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from Decordering. I wanted to let a few things kind of percolate in the Mr. Beast story so I could give you a more meaty update. I wish I could be providing an update to you that said, hey, he had come out and accepted responsibility and fired the right people and stopped worrying about having the appropriate response and just did the right thing. This is the same kind of couch lock paralysis via overanalysis that companies like Bud Light and now Harley Davidson are facing. They're too dang worried about coming out and saying the correct thing, and they're more worried about saying the correct thing, if you get what I'm saying. And really, Mr. Beast could have made all of this go away with one simple trick. Now there's more messages come out. There's a story that says he hired the same lawyer as that Harvey creep from Hollywood. He just keeps making it worse and worse for himself when all he had to do, I'm going to give you this information for free, Mr. Beast, should you ever be able to invent a time machine and go back and handle this right. The reason you're in this mess exclusively is because your friend, your trans friend, acted poorly, and you couldn't just fire them. You just couldn't fire them because you knew the left would eat you alive. Any normal person would be like, yo, my employee's using my name to hook up with people that he shouldn't be. You're fired. Issue statement. I disavow behavior. I fired them immediately when I found out. Carry on. We would have been done with this a month ago. But instead, he was like, oh, no. What if I lose my woke Hollywood connections? I just got this Amazon deal. okay, well, instead of just doing that, I'm going to hide, obfuscate, turtle, and then I'm going to hire high-priced lawyers to come in and tell me that I need to give my employees sensitivity training. You don't need sensitivity training to know that you don't put your hands on people that don't want it, and you don't spend time with them before they're of age.
You know what's messed up? Giving his employees sensitivity training is like a reward for bad behavior. Because you have to remember you're dealing with a bunch of leftist people as it is. So it's less sensitivity training and more like a group exercise where they can all grieve together. Okay, like, yeah, this doesn't need to have exactly, man. I've been wanting this for so long. This is a conversation that needed to be had. Absolutely, guys, this is total BS. This is total BS. They're already in a woke environment. All right, Mr. Beast, his company is totally woke, so they're just gonna have a good time. There will be food and drinks and celebrations and crying, which is something that they love to do because these people have no emotional control and lots of streaming.
Well, everybody knows that. I know that. And clearly, I've never had sensitivity training. Now things continue to get worse as more stories come out. Now,
Guys, it doesn't matter. This is why I said, like, this is why I have like a very negative view on all Gen Zers. Like, even when you have Gen Zers that have been successful and have been able to actually be productive in life, like Mr. Beast, you have to remember it's still a Gen Zer. There's still something there. Even if you don't know what they did, they know what they did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of like hyping stuff up and saying, "Oh my God, I have a new leaked document, and now I really got him." Now Mr. Beast's channel is not going to go away. It's not going to be removed off of YouTube. It's simply too large to fail. And many of his viewers are completely insulated from a lot of this coverage. Now, many of you have emailed me to tell me, hey, actually, my kids do know about it, and they heard about it online. But if you're using the YouTube Kids app, you generally don't see videos that are discussing this kind of stuff. And in an all-time PR disaster, I'm going to start with the most hilarious thing. Mr. Beast has reportedly hired the same lawyer as that Harvey creep. I mean, this can't be true. You see Rosanna Pansino, who's really grifting off of this hard. I respect it. Says Mr. Beast has hired Matthew Hiltzik's crisis management company. Matthew Hiltzik began his PR career at Weinstein's Miramax. Matthew Hiltzik is a lawyer and publicist who represents politicians and Hollywood figures. Shortly after Mr. Beast hired Matthew, a Mr. Beast company email was, quote, leaked. I believe that this was their first strategic move in attempting to rebuild Jimmy's image to the public. Well, what they're trying to do is say, hey, we're woke now. Why does being woke insulate you from having your employees putting their hands on people they shouldn't and using your name to get them into the bedroom? Don't know. But the left seems to think that that's okay. Just like the left seems to think that being trans is the most impenetrable plot armor in history. You see this video, the real Mr. Beast leaked document. Watch here. It says, hello, former Mr. Beast employee here. The video and insight from Rosanna paints a really good picture as to how Jimmy acts. A lot of this stuff is just people getting fake outraged. In this particular document that I've seen, there's really, there's very little that is like wild. A lot of it's like sales 101 stuff. And you see people are like, oh my God, he's perpetuating boys will be boys culture by saying it's okay for the boys to be childish. If talent wants to draw a wang on a whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them, assuming they know the risks and aren't missing the context on why it's not safe. People like when we're in our natural element of stupidity, really do like everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content, help them be idiots. Well, I don't think I would be getting outraged about that because he creates content for kids. Kids, I grew up watching, Jackass and stuff like that. Kids like, crotch shots are legendary. Farts are still legendary. And I'm 40 years old. So I don't really see a lot of this stuff that the left is getting all really upset about. I don't see a lot of it as any big deal. It says here, we don't fake things. Make sure to prep contestants and try to create an environment where they feel comfortable talking. If you wrote a banger piece of content, but it's a 50-50 chance of working, write another piece of content. Content is limited. Don't be lazy. I want famous people in our videos, no dull moments in videos. You can't fake intensity. All this stuff is 100% fine. So a lot of this is like, oh my God. The crisis management company, I'm not surprised. Who we hired, a lot of people see here. Not sure what's wrong with this. Viewers ask Mr. Beast or defend Mr. Beast after Rosanna Pansino leaks business document. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with this document. You see a lot of the tweets. I'm not sure what's wrong with this. It's true, and it's used more than just his company. I'm so confused. How is wanting to hire only the best employees controversial? Jimmy is spot on here. This is a winning mentality. C players can go work on baking channels. Who's to say all the A's are his friends? I've got a feeling he's going to need to be trimming some of them as well. Again, I don't think, you're either an A player, B player, C player. We only want A players. This is just basic stuff, right? But this stuff is not basic. This, according to Drama Alert, who seems to have a pretty, I would say, live connection to a lot of the drama. Now, the partner of Mr. Beast's friend, Chris, the biological man who many say abandoned his family and robbed his son of a father figure to pursue a fetish. That's what other people say. It's interesting. I think a lot of people agree with that. And the recent behavior that we've seen absolutely, looks like it to me. And then apparently the person at the center of it all has also responded to these messages indicating that the DMs are real and suggested that only Chris and their partner, Erit, could have had access to them. So I think Chris's partner is another biological male. So
Yeah, guys, this is some crazy stuff that we are absolutely witnessing right now. And this is just the reality of it. We have to wake up and realize that, Hollywood is a very sick place. YouTube is increasingly becoming just an extension of Hollywood. I, you know, I, I never thought, and this actually goes back years ago. I've rubbed elbows with giant YouTubers for years. It's crazy. And not just giant YouTubers, but then Hollywood starts to seep in. And not just Hollywood, it's like the rest of the world. You start to rub shoulders with large researchers, people in the medical community, all right, depending on the kind of content that you're making, or people who are or comedians that have gone mainstream, or are just public figures. You're like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I just started off like ranting on the internet, like no one knows who the hell I am. I'm just a nobody. But that's just kind of how it goes. And at this point, when it comes to like Mr. Beast, it's like you have to remember, like, this is the biggest content creator on the planet. In the end, it doesn't really matter if you're a member of Hollywood or not. It only matters if people have their eyes on you. So that's why streamers are increasingly becoming so famous, because it does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're a part of Hollywood. Like, increasingly we're going in a direction where you're going to have the not Hollywood. And that's why Hollywood is basically fighting so hard to grab YouTubers and to, actively put themselves in front of the content create the fans of content creators, or are creating their own content on YouTube and becoming YouTubers themselves, because YouTube, online content, it's increasingly replacing Hollywood. Content that people produce for themselves, It's not. It's really. It takes a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It takes a lot of work to produce content, but people are doing it. People are learning how to do it and doing it on their own. Like, you watch, like, for example, Fresh and Fit. There's some of you guys who are talking crap about Fresh and Fit. You guys don't realize that's a large production. Fresh and Fit is a massive production. It's a massive production. Being able to bring it on air and do all of those things, it's a massive production. uh, like, it's so, and people are learning these skills on their own and then doing these things and producing these things, and sometimes they're producing things, a lot of the time they're producing things that beat out Hollywood. Like, what they produce in Hollywood is absolute crap. Like, it's not interesting, it's not enjoyable. It's like, oh, you need a music producer for this, and you need a this and this and this, and you have people who just learn all of these skills themselves, and they do all of the visual art designs, and or they outsource, or they have to outsource. So it's really something. And as a result of that, you have people who are like, not all of these people in Hollywood, not all of these people on YouTube are good people. A lot of these people have issues. A lot of these people have issues. Trust me, I know I have issues. Just not like some of these other people. You know, we all have our issues, but you end up with people who maybe, like, people should just be very wary of. Like, for example, I'm wary of Gen Z, and Jimmy is a Gen Zer, and now his Gen Z is showing. They are all there is something wrong with there's something wrong with this generation of people. All right, there's something wrong with this generation of people, and you can clearly see something is wrong with. We all knew something was wrong with Jimmy. All right, because he has this, like, bubblegum image. He's not bubblegum, bro. Oh, I just love everyone and I want to give everyone money and make everyone happy. Yeah, and then you're marketing everything towards kids. You right? Like, it's, guys, this is total BS. Absolutely total BS. This is why society is collapsing. This is the reason why there's going to be a lot more scrutiny on YouTubers and online influencers going forward, as more of these people become a larger, take a lion's share, or a much larger share away from Hollywood, because everything is moving online. Everything is moving online, and with AI and the way that technology is changing, you're going to start to see Hollywood level experiences in an online space. We're already beginning to see things like where fan films are just like, the people are making, and they're not even fan films anymore. Like, they're like, basically, you have people who are making their own movies, an entire movie about something, like, that may have started off as something like a one shot, like, and people were like, oh, I really like this concept. Okay, we're just gonna make a movie about it, and they make an entire movie about it, and they have an entire camera crew, script writers, and everything else, wardrobe, and it's, maybe the acting's not the greatest. Have you seen modern movies? The acting's not the greatest. All right, and these videos are getting millions and millions of views. And if you were to put up a Hollywood movie right alongside these things that are produced by the fans, these fan productions, or I should call them fan productions, but they're not. These productions by, content creators are doing better and outperforming, these high budget films, like, with like $10,000, not even $10,000 sometimes. Like, bro, not even that amount of money, with basically like a shoestring budget, literally nothing. A lot of these creators are putting out these movies, series, and they understand what their audiences want to see, and they're able to do things that they're able to do things that, just would not fly in mainstream movies. Like, basically, the next Joker movie's coming out. I hope it's really good. I was worried when they said that it was going to be a musical, but it seems like it's more grounded to earth, so hopefully that's the case. I don't want a ton of singing in there. And, unless you're going to be able to put out a movie like Joker, unless you're going to be able to put out a movie like Deadpool, don't even try. Don't even try. All right, no one wants any of that Eternals garbage anymore. Like, okay, the movie has to be both. You really have to bring it. Every time I go to the theater, I really need to feel something. Like, unless, and it's like, it's not even the theater. It's like, a lot of people are not going to the theater anymore. All right, they're sitting on their couch and they're watching movies. They're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to go to the theater where everything smells like farts and it's expensive? No, I'm just going to stay home, watch something on my laptop or on my television and chill, you know. And I have endless options. And we're heading in the direction right now where Hollywood is competing with YouTube. Hollywood is competing with is directly competing with content creators. Like, a lot of people don't even get their news from mainstream media anymore. That's what the boomers do. All right, most of my news does not come from the mainstream media. Most of my news comes from YouTube. All right, I wake up and then 8 a.m. rolls around, Eastern Standard Time, or six, what is it, six 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and at Spawn Wave comes out, and I can watch what do you call that thing? And I can watch Spawn Wave. Spawn Wave comes out. That's a video game show, and they tell you about everything. It's with John. And he tells you about all the gaming news. That's my day. It's time to watch Spawn Wave. It's time to watch Spawn Wave. I'm gonna go do that in a little while too. I'll go watch some Spawn Wave, relax. 20-minute video. That's nice. I don't really care if this world. I don't really care what else is going on. And that's what they have to compete with. Like, it's a morning show. It's a video game morning show. I don't have to wait until in the evening to watch Attack of the Show, like if it was still around, on G4. No, no, no. I get my gaming news in the morning the way I like it. The way I like it. That's really all I care about. Video games, technology. I don't really care about much else. So it's a direct competition, and a lot of these, a lot of Hollywood just cannot compete. They cannot compete because you have one person that can do this, and sometimes they can have someone working overseas that's handling other areas of the production, right? If they're not doing it all on their own. And as a result, they're able to provide these experiences that, just are not possible. Just are not possible otherwise for Hollywood. It just cannot be done in Hollywood. Even like people who are like famous, like Smallville, like they have a Smallville podcast. There's a Smallville podcast, and they do it regularly, and they produce it themselves, and it's very popular. You know, there's a Full House podcast. There's a podcast. It feels like there's a podcast for everything these days, man. Hollywood can't compete anymore. But as a result, you then end up with like creepy people doing creepy things. And Jimmy needs to be held accountable for this. Maybe his channel gets demonetized for a few months. I think that would be a very good consequence. You know, like some cons. He knew what Chris was doing, and he allowed it. Not only did he allow it, he tried to cover it up. Like something that like a punishment, the way that they punished Sniper Wolf, because we know that we'd all be gone in a heartbeat. We would all be gone in a heartbeat. So Jimmy needs to serve his time. Jimmy needs to serve his time in YouTube jail. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Society is rapidly going to hell. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.